Did I see a hand somewhere else? Yes.
Why did this whole process have to take so long? Is that because God gives freedom
So
of mind?
let's give a smaller analogy, but then you extrapolate up to an infinite God and a being as intelligent and powerful as Lucifer, and see if this would work for you. You're the pastor of your church, and your brother is the treasurer of the church. And one day your brother gets up in front of the church and tells a lie that you've been stealing money from the church. You've been embezzling. And he's cooked the books to make it look that way. But you've never taken a penny. You're completely innocent. It's all fraud. It's all fraudulent. He might have hired somebody from Russia to create a dossier.
I see what you did.
It's fraudulent. It's fraudulent. It's all a lie. If you got up before the church and simply said to the church, hey, guys, I love my brother, but this is not true. This is a lie. God gets for the universe and says, I love Lucifer, but what he's saying is untrue. If you got in front of your church and just declared your innocence, would that be an end to the process?
No.
But you've done nothing wrong. Why doesn't it end it? If you were powerful, if you had an army at your back, if you were the head of the FBI, if you could bring in the National Guard and arrest your brother and imprison him for telling this lie, would that then save the day and everyone would now believe you?
No.
Or would, in fact, more people disbelieve you if you did that?
Yes. Right.
Does this give you an insight as to why it's taking so long? You cannot win hearts and minds by threats of punishment on those who don't love and trust you. Only a revelation of truth over time, leaving people free to reap consequences. And why are people not seeing this? I will tell you they're not seeing it because they're completely, as it says in Revelation, this power intoxicates the world on the wine of Babylon. Okay? And the wine of Babylon is imperialism. It is that God's law functions like human law, and thus the whole world is intoxicated with this idea of an imperial God who has to keep rules, and then they argue back and forth. I've seen this play out in the last 2 weeks after a blog I wrote, and there were so many protestations. I wrote a blog recently, and for those who understand the moral levels of development, my blog was about principles and purposes, level 6 and 7. It was about the principles of liberty, the principles of truth, the principles of love, and how those principles went out in the day, and about the purposes of God, and how God's purposes will supersede a rule. Like God had a purpose in telling Abraham to go sacrifice his son, which seemed to be breaking rules. Now, he ultimately, of course, didn't violate the law of love, but he had a purpose in that. He had a purpose in bringing a pagan king, Nebuchadnezzar, to take captive Israel. There was a purpose in that because of the situation, because of the condition that is going on. When you understand the larger principles and purposes, then you can understand things that look on the surface to maybe not be. But if you're operating at level 4 is all about right behavior, right conduct, right definition of rules, right doctrines, and rule keeping. And anybody who breaks the rules or speaks badly or acts badly, well, that's evil, and you must be opposing them. And that's kind of the pushback with a lot of level 4 thinkers. And you see this process happening.
I think you're being charitable. I think level 4, I'm seeing, I read the comment sections, level 2s and 3s, lots of level 2 and 3 comments.
Okay.
I think 4 is charitable.
But it really comes back to how do you see God's law? Yeah. This is what it's rooted in. Levels 1 through 4 still see God's law as imperial, regardless of the maturity level. Yeah. The level 1, reward and punishment, the person in charge will have to punish if we disobey. So it's still very much imperialistic. They may have not got sophisticated where there's an established law that they have to abide by, but the person in charge is the punisher or the rewarder. That's level 1. Yeah. So I wouldn't disagree with that. Wednesday's lesson.